Hey everybody, welcome to today's show. My name's Jonathan. Got John Beast to the left, CEO, owner, Masters. What's up, my man?
I'm doing great, Jonathan. How are you doing?
Real good. Excited for today's show. Dynasty drafts have already started. First one's in the books. We just did a quarterback value show. Today we're going to be doing running backs. Also have wide receivers and tight ends coming. One thing a little different about these drafts: no rookies. Take a moment to
Yeah,
explain
there's
that.
no rookies in the super early. These are real money leagues, but there's no rookies in the super earlies because the NFL draft hasn't happened yet, and it's hard if you don't know where players are going to land to, where to take them or who to take them. Clyde Edwards Hilaire last year went from pick one dot or from the 12th pick in the rookie draft to the first in just about every one.
Quickly, too. Yeah.
Quickly too. So what we do is we run the veteran drafts first, and after the veterans draft, after the NFL draft's complete, we run a 2-round rookie draft.
Yeah, and if you watch the other show, I'll probably say this for every show. You get two drafts for one, so I think that's really cool too. All right, with that said, we're going to jump right into this. Today we're doing Dynasty running back value picks. My favorite position. John, going to jump right into this. What's your first Dynasty running back value pick?
Well, I was kind of surprised. There were 63 running backs taken, and Zeke Elliott was. Zeke, he came in 2.8. He was a 14th running back off the board, and say what you want. I do not think. I'm not a big Cam Akers guy. I'll just let you know I'm not. But to come behind Cam Akers, Austin Eckler, Josh Jacobs, I don't think that's a good spot for him. I mean, last year, he finished all the way down, and on an off year, he finished in 7th.
Yeah.
Without his starting quarterback. He was, he likes to catch the football. He's all, everybody thinks, he just runs the ball, but he doesn't. He catches the ball a lot too.
Yeah, he's a 3-down back for sure.
He's a true three down back. Tony Pollard did great, but when Zeke's healthy, Zeke's going to be the guy in Dallas. They're paying him all the money, so they're going to run him.
Yeah, I completely agree. The only reason I didn't select Zeke because I had just used him on another show, wore my Zeke jersey. I'm like, I can't go with Zeke again. Seen him there. Towards the end of the second round with some of the running backs you mentioned going ahead of him, I thought it was absurd and a mistake.
I did too, and there was a lot of weird things. Seeing Clyde come off the board so late.
Yeah,
I thought that
and
was
let's
kind of
jump
weird.
into that because that's actually one of the guys I have written down. I know you're a big Clyde Edwards guy. I wasn't so much last year, but looking at running back 18, selected at 3.12. He finished at 21 at running back. He missed a couple games last year. But if you just go by his points per game, if he doesn't miss any time, he would have finished 12th at running back, which is pretty respectable, for a guy in his rookie year on that offense as the fourth weapon.
The fourth weapon, and you got to think that next year that he's going to come back to mean he's going to score more touchdowns. I think it was an aberration. He only scored, he scored so few touchdowns last year.
Right, and I completely agree. And I actually, to take that one step further, I look at that offense. He's kind of like the fourth option at the moment on that offense. And here's a guy. He's 21 years old. And this is a dynasty league. So even for the next couple of years, it still may be the Tyreek Hill, Kelsey show. In some time, though, I do believe he's just going to constantly get a bigger role in that offense. And actually, to go one step further, looking back at that Super Bowl last year, what was one of the biggest knocks there?
The biggest knock for me was Clyde was doing great. He was averaging 7 yards a carry. He was open every play, and they just kept forcing the ball down the field.
Down the field. And I think that Kansas City adjusts this year. I think they watched that Super Bowl film over and over, realized, the mistakes that they made. And I actually expect, because I do think that coming into this season, we all expect the Clyde Edwards-Helaire to get, 4 to 7 easy PPR point. It just never happened. I do think that's going to happen next year.
He was the 7th of the rookie running backs last year. He's the 7th one taken.
Yeah, which is just seems shocking.
It just doesn't seem right.
Here's a guy that, like you said, he was pretty much the 1.1 in every dynasty rookie draft that we did, and now he's going number 7, and he didn't even have a terrible season.
He really didn't.
Yeah, so I actually really like Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I think he's a steal at 3.12, and that actually makes me. That would have been the other way because the guy had 2.12, got Patrick Mahomes. I was trying to think for a second.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Did he get Clyde too?
Did he get Clyde
that
too?
was the other way. But actually, two of my favorite picks so far coming out of the turn. If you guys want to follow along with this draft, if you look down in the description, you'll see right there. There's a link to the draft report. Click on that. You can be looking at the exact same thing we're looking at. Would love for you guys to, give us your favorite value pick at running back. Leave a comment. If you're new to the channel, We'd love for you to hit the like and subscribe button. Come be a part of the Masters family. Just wanted to get that out there real quick.
Got it.
All right, JB, you got your
Yeah,
second running back?
I do have a second running back, and it's kind of weird. So I'm talking about these rookie running backs, and I'm all about J.K. Dobbins. He came in 3.3, which seemed kind of early. He had about 800 yards, caught maybe 18 passes. He had a good season, and with Mark Ingram being gone, I'm thinking the J.K. Dobbins, he's got all the tools to be a great back.
I agree.
But I just kept thinking, and I scrolled all the way down to the very last pick of the draft.
The very last running back selected?
The very last running back selected
Wow.
was Gus Edwards. Mark Ingram is gone. Gus Edwards had a whole 70 yards less than J.K. Dobbins, and he went, 15 rounds later. I mean, he can catch. He's been consistent. He's only 25. He consistently gets, 7 yards. And if Dobbins gets hurt, and in the NFL, running backs always get hurt, I mean, this guy's going to be the lead back of a running team. And I don't know. It just seems that, he doesn't catch many passes, but he doesn't have to.
Yeah. And I actually think both those guys are a good value. I was perfectly okay with you going with J.K. Dobbins there, too, as a value pick. And in my head, as you were saying that, I was thinking about Derrick Henry that year that I was banging my drum for Derrick. Came on so strong at the end of the season. I think we've seen some of the same things with J.K. Dobbins last year. I think you hit the nail on the head when you said, Baltimore's a running team. I think that read option, they're always going to do it. They're probably always going to run the ball a little bit more than any other team in the NFL. That just creates opportunity for Gus Edwards.
And this is like a made-up fact. I've realized this is not based on anything except intuition. I don't think Lamar Jackson, they're going to let – you got Dobbins and Edwards are good running backs that when you're getting down to the end zone, I'm thinking that they're going to let these guys score just to prevent injury.
Yeah, they should, except for Week 16.
Except for Week 16.
And then, let him out the gate, let him do what he's going to do. And actually, my second value running back, actually a really similar situation, I think. If you go at it, it's going to be Nyheim Hines. And it's a guy. And I actually wanted to start this out by asking you this. If you could get the 17th ranked running back last year in PPR scoring, in the 12.10 is the number 48 running back off the board. Sounds like a pretty good deal, right?
It does. Yeah, it really does.
And that's exactly what Nyheim Hines is. Finished 17 last year, got drafted 48th. And here's a guy, and I get it, man. Jonathan Taylor's amazing. Nyheim Hines has been able to fit in, whether it was Marlon Mack, whether it's going to be Jonathan Taylor. We've spoke about this on the show many times. Running back by committee is here to stay. And this guy, to me, is probably one of the top number 2 running backs in the NFL. He has amazing hands. He actually has the size. He's a little small to be a starting running back completely, but he's not super little either. He's kind of like James White size, 5'10", 200 pounds.
Yeah.
He's. I guess what I'm saying is he can still get some of those hard yards, between the tackles. He doesn't just catch the ball, but that's what he's great at. Another thing I really like about Nyheim Hines, too, I think he's going into his 4th or 5th. I think he's going into his 5th year here. 4th year. So, here's a guy whose contract's going to be coming up soon, too. And I actually think, he possibly could push to be a starter somewhere else. And the guy that's, another thing, too, about him, his rookie season, he finished 29th. So, if you take 24, if everybody's starting 2 running backs, 2 of his 3 years, he's been just outside. His first year, he was just outside of being an every week starter. Last year, he should have been an every week starter. He's just a guy I really like, a really great value pick there. And another thing he was number 3 in the NFL in targets last year, too.
And I did not know that. And I didn't use him, but J.D. McKissick was someone else who actually went a little bit before him. He's a little bit older.
Right.
And we just think of an explosive offense in Indianapolis, or there's going to be one, especially now my man Carson's there.
Yeah.
But we don't think that about the Washington football team. Having said that, they had a lot of players. You had McLaren, you had Logan Thomas, you had J.D. McKissick, you had who's the
Gibson.
and
Gibson,
Gibson,
yeah.
and they all finished at top of the rankings at respective positions.
They did, and I really like McKissick, but between the two, I feel like Nyheim Hines has a better shot to continue that.
I agree. I do agree with that.
I think it wasn't a fluke. Like I think he's always going to have a role no matter where he goes. The perfect third down back in the NFL. So I mean, I'm actually a really big fan of that pick at 12.10.
Me too. I like that pick.
All right, guys, that's going to wrap up this edition of our Value Running Back Show. If you could hit that like and subscribe button. Also, leave a comment. Tell us who you think your value running backs are. Thank you so much for listening.
Come to mastersfantasyfootballleagues.com and join a Dynasty League. They're filling all the time.
Yep, fresh
and we just started posting some orphans. You get the orphans. There's no deposit required, so they have the cost of a fresh team.
Yep. All right, good stuff. See you guys next time.
All right.